Protesters in the fallout of the shooting of Jayland Walker.
Good evening, Jim. For the second time today, a protest outside of Akron Police Headquarters, the Justice Center here in Akron, and we are less than 24 hours away from the release of that Akron Police body cam video of the shooting and shooting death of Jayland Walker earlier this week. As you know, there have been protests during this week, and tensions are high, emotions are high. People are calling for transparency and also police accountability.
Who do we want justice for? Jayland Walker! Who do we want justice for? Jayland Walker!
8 officers have been put on leave as the investigation into the officer-involved shooting moves forward. But as protests grow, so do tensions. During a second protest today outside of police headquarters, a shocking and stunning moment when about a dozen officers came outside and stood face to face with protesters. Our 19 news cameras were rolling when the officers came out and stood on the steps of the Justice Center and came face to face with protesters. Several tense moments when the organizer asked everyone to remain calm and to remember what they are here for. Then police began putting up barricades that blocked the steps and the landing at the entrance of the police station. A captain with the department told me he could not comment, but I suspect officers decided to put up barriers because protesters who became louder and louder were on the landing right next to the entrance of the police department, and because protesters used chalk to write negative things about police on the stairs, sidewalk, and street. There were no arrests, and after a few minutes, police went back inside. Now another protest is scheduled here at the Justice Center on Sunday, shortly after that news conference by the mayor and police chief, where those body cam videos will be released. Pastors are urging people to remain peaceful and calm and keep focused on what needs to happen here, because they say once they see those videos, they believe people will become even angrier. Reporting in
Akron in the fallout of the shooting death by police of Jayland Walker.
Approximately 30 seconds, you'll hear no audio, and that's because the device itself, when you activate it, it goes back 30 seconds. It captures no sound, but it picks up the recording 30 seconds before the incident or the recording. The first video will be narrated video of the incident, starting with the pursuit. It will include some still shots, and it will include some text, and we'll zoom in for clarity. The second video will be of an officer body cam footage, which will begin at the start of the pursuit, and it will end with the shooting. The video will be played from start to finish with pause, and will show the incident in real time. At the end of our press conference today, we will provide an opportunity for questions. Each outlet represented here today will have an opportunity to ask a question. There will also be a press kit available to members that will contain or include a map of the pursuit, a timeline of the incident, a transcript of the dispatch conversation during the pursuit, and basic information on the officers involved, including race, gender, years of service, and disciplinary record, if any. At the conclusion of the press conference, we'll be putting out a press release as well, and all body cam footage will be available. According to the city ordinance, we're required to release three body cam footages within the first 7 days, but we're going above and beyond that today due to the unique circumstances, and we'll be releasing all of the body cam footage in a short period of time after the press conference. This includes the 8 officers who were directly involved in the shooting, and additionally 5 other officers who were on scene but did not participate in the shooting. At this time, I would like to welcome Akron Mayor Dan Horgan to the podium.
Thank you, Lieutenant. First of all, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I know this is a somber occasion for all of us and for the entire city. Before I begin, let me again extend my condolences to the family and friends of Jayland Walker. I know that no amount of grief or prayer will bring Jayland back. Excuse me. But please know that I'm with you. Personally, there are no amount of superlatives, and I've talked about being beyond outraged, beyond shocked, and extremely heartbroken that I can use to describe my feelings. I won't mince words. The video you're about to watch is heartbreaking, and it's very tough to take. I know many of you will have questions, and but I have a number of questions myself that need to be answered. But what I'd like to do to the community, please, is that the independent, which is being the investigation, which is being conducted independently by an entity requested by Chief Mylett, which is the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and the Attorney General's office, will take some time to work through. Our media information packet includes a rough timeline of how the investigation process will proceed, in addition to a timeline of events of this past Monday. And I am urging all of our residents, please reserve your full judgment until the investigation is complete. And listen, you'll have to do one of the most difficult things that I can ever ask somebody to do, and that is to please be patient and let the Attorney General do their work. Let me also emphasize the steps we've taken over a number of years to increase the transparency and the accountability, knowing that trust cannot exist without our commitment to openness. Law that ensures the release of video footage which documents an Akron police officer's use of force within 7 days of the incident. This ordinance was first to enact a new law that ensures the release of video footage which documents an Akron police officer's use of force within 7 days of the incident. This ordinance was first recommended by the city's Charter Review Commission and was overwhelmingly approved by the residents of Akron. And it is clear what our community wants is to be able to review the information for themselves, and it is our commitment to be open and as transparent as we can be, given the fact that there is an independent investigation which we cannot put into jeopardy. Additionally, utilizing an independent entity to conduct the initial investigation into the incident will be a further step in increasing the trust and accountability with our citizens. Chief Mylett and I both believe that this is the best practice going forward, and which many communities across the country are now doing. And it is the direction that we intend to move towards in any future events of deadly force. Both the city and the Akron Police Department are fully committed to this process, and I have every confidence that the investigation will be conducted in a fair, thorough, and just manner. Many will wish to air their grievances in public, and I fully support our residents' right to peacefully assemble, but I hope the community can agree that violence and destruction are not the answer. And let me echo the calls from a number of elected officials and community members right here in Akron that calls for peace in our cities. This will be the constant urge over the next few days, is peace in our city. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and first and foremost, I would like to give my condolences to the loved ones of Jayland Walker. I know this young man was well loved and respected, and the weight of his loss is being felt across our city. Some years ago, when I decided to get involved in public service, public life, I had served as president of the Akron branch of NAACP, and I decided I would run for office. One of my concerns was the Akron Police Department, some issues that they've had. One of the problems was like taking complaints and how they were handled. So as my time from leaving the NAACP presidency and then moving to the city of Akron, eventually becoming the council president, and now I'm senior advisor to the mayor, I have worked on a number of issues to try to strengthen the relationship between the police and the community. One was, first of all, hiring an outside independent police auditor, which we have in place, Mr. Phil Young. The auditor is supposed to look at trends in the police department. He looks at where we need to do training. He looks at if arrests were not handled the right way. We handle those all internally. And that has been a great start for us in this community. The other thing that has helped us also in this community, we do have body cameras for the officers. And the fact that we have that, that's why we're here today. We'll be able to look at the footage. The main thing we also should always look at too is the fact that we have this new ordinance that it had to be released in 7 days. The mayor could have did an executive order, but we did not do that. We took it to the Charter Review Commission. Council President is here, Marco Somerville, Professor Bill Rich from University of Akron Law School, who chaired that committee, came with the idea, along with the mayor, to put it in the charter. So now, when there is a police shooting, the police department or the chief can't say, I'm not releasing it. The mayor can't say, I'm not releasing it. It has to be released. And then the voters voted on it. Over 90% of the voters voted on that. And that is a huge thing that I don't think you'll find any other place in the country who's done that. As my many years of public service, I have never understood why police would handle their own investigation. And when it comes into police-involved shootings, that has never sit right with me in this community. And now, since we have a new chief and the mayor, they've gotten together and they have asked for outside help in investigating this case. This is huge. This is definitely not business as usual. This move for this investigation to have an outside entity ensures that it'll be the fairest, most unbiased review of the facts, and that's the right decision at the right time. We also have with us today some of our residents who are here, some of the members of the faith-based community, some citizens who've been involved in the community here for this press conference, and we appreciate them being here too. Having this footage released today is a good step in the right direction. Make no mistake, what you will see in this footage is extremely upsetting. From here, we need to look at our process to get us to the next steps. An independent investigation at the state level will further that process. I know there's anger that when people see this video, it will cause them to become sickened as I was. I have a son, could have been my son. And quite frankly, our community has a right to voice their concerns and to protest. And we would ask them to do that. But what we would ask them to do, as the family has asked them to do, it's okay to protest, but we would also ask them to do it in a peaceful manner. We have asked for this type of transparency. Now we're getting into the investigation that we want. We have to be patient and allow the investigation to run its course. And remember, we're all in this together.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to first echo the sentiments that were expressed by Mayor Horgan and Deputy Mayor Somerville. I also want to express my deepest sympathies to Jayland's family. I cannot imagine the sense of loss, the pain that they're going through right now. As Marco mentioned, you know, in his personal life, my youngest is 25 years of age as well. And I cannot imagine what life would be like without my son. So again, Mrs. Walker, Jada, I'm very sorry for your loss. But I want to personally thank you. I want to personally thank you for the way in which you have been dealing with this situation. You have asked for peace in an environment that is ripe for aggression and violence. You have asked for trust and let this process move forward. If Jayland reflects the character of this family, which I continually heard that he did. You raised a good son. And again, my deepest condolences and sympathies. On Monday morning, officers of the Akron Police Department were involved in an officer-involved shooting. In a few moments, you will be seeing two videos that will address what led up to the shooting. When I was sworn in as Chief of Police 10 months ago, I began moving the police department in a direction to have outside independent investigations when officers are involved in a shooting. So on Monday morning, I formally requested the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations to investigate this shooting. Some of the benefits of having an independent investigation include increased perceptions of credibility of the findings, increased transparency. The public tends to trust the results and fairness of the investigation, and quite frankly, this has become best practice in my profession.